What if Deku was Garo? Part 1. And sorry for my voice, guys. It's kind of sick right now. So, yeah. So, to start off, Garo, or Zuko, always thought, why did the heroes always win, but the villains always lose? He always thought it was unfair, which is the exact thing that Garo thought in One Punch Man. So, once he discovered he was quirkless, he got bullied for it, and everyone just bullied him for being quirkless. And Bakugo, who said he wanted to be a hero but still bullied him, this grew his hatred towards heroes, basically. So, I'd say at one point, when he was maybe 6, he snapped and just beat the hell out of Bakugo. Now, the only reason is because he started training since he was 4, but he always had a hold on himself because he was stronger than most people. And he had a hold on himself, but if something happened to him that just made him super angry, he just snapped. And that's what happened. And he ended up beating the crap out of Bakugo. From that day forth, Bakugo would try and fight Deku, only for him to immediately just get put down or put in a headlock by Deku. Now, let's just time skip maybe 7 years. Deku is 14, or he was 6 when this happened. 7, 6, he'd be 13, or let's just say 8 years. He's 14. During these years of training, he came up with a martial arts style called Fist of Flowing Rock. This is because I'm going to say, what's his name doesn't exist in this universe. Don't really remember his name, but yeah. So, Deku ended up saying to his mom that he was leaving and pretty much just not going to come back. She was sad, just told him to visit if he could. And Deku, and pretty much, he just went out and lived on the streets. In the classic Garo muscle shirt, basically. So, he was always just walking around. And if he saw a hero just walking around alone, he'd take them into a back alley. And he wouldn't kill them, but he'd beat them into where they don't want to be a hero anymore. So he would just keep going around and beating these heroes to the point where they quit, because they absolutely hate how brutal he was. He'd just keep punching them. He'd just keep punching them even if they were knocked out. They could feel themselves getting punched as they were barely in consciousness. He didn't even care. These heroes were found half dead in a pile of their own blood in alleyways. Deku would constantly be going around and just doing this, which earned him the title Garo the Hero Hunter. So, Deku, or Garo the Hero Hunter, is now pretty much a Zuko the Hero Hunter, but I'm just going to say Garo because they don't know his name. So I'm going to say instead of having green hair, he also has the bluish hair that Garo has, pretty much. So Deku just keeps doing this to the heroes, to the point where one hero is, I'm just going to make this up, if you guys know Watchdog Man, which actually beat Garo and taught him something, he's gonna go after a hero like this, but it's like a cat version. And I'm going to say it was just the number 7 hero, pretty much where Watchdog Man is. I think he's like 8 or 9, don't really know. So he went and tried to beat him up, but ended up getting beat himself. And I'm going to say like the number of heroes he's hunted have been, let's say, just around the 100 mark. So he could beat up every single teacher in UA. Like, he hasn't had to use his Fist of Flowing Rock to even beat any of the heroes. He could just beat them with brute strength, not with any tactics. But during the fight with the cat, he had to use his Fist of Flowing Rock techniques, which, even though he did, he still lost, which made him just leave and be found and he'd end up waking up on a pile of trash in an alleyway. He vaguely remembered what happened, but the main thing he did was how he was on all fours, while Fist of Flowing Rock was like made for like fighting two-hand opponents. So seeing this, Deku was obviously took it into consideration and practiced it. So then he has the four-legged style and Fist of Flowing Rock. So one time Deku's just walking around when a bunch of heroes surround him, and it's like, it's over, Hero Hunter. As he's like, it's too much to deal with just brute strength, so I guess I'll use my technique. As he says, Fist of Flowing Rock. Don't really know any moves, so please tell me in the comment section below. But I do know that he usually just punches people, pretty much, and kicks. He's like martial arts. So there's really just nothing, just like doing the Fist of Flowing Rock, adding strength to it. So he does this and just starts punching people. Kind of like how Madara Uchiha did in, I think, one of the Ninja Wars. Not really sure. A bunch of people are saying it was an Itachi, but it wasn't. To search up a Madara versus a bunch of Genin. Or Genji, I don't know. So Deku just kept beating the crap out of him until All Might arrived. He's like, it's over, Garo. So Deku's just like, I sent All Might out. This should be pretty fun. As Deku got on all fours, which really confused All Might, as Garo, or Zuko, was considered to be a two-legged fighter. And All Might, pretty much just beating everybody with brute strength, is so confused by what Izuku's doing. He's like, what are you doing, Garo? And Izuku is just like, something that you'll have a hard time beating, as he just starts flying from like tree to tree so fast. It's like a blue aura around him, and he keeps getting like punches on All Might, which keeps like pushing him back. And All Might's like, this kid's pushing me to 75%. How the hell's that? As Deku just brought his fist down and punched All Might in the face, sending him flying the other way. As Zuko's just like, you really aren't that strong, All Might. As All Might comes up and punches Garo, as he coughs up blood and just wipes it on his arm and then punches him back. So they're basically in like a punching thing. As All Might's just like 80%. No, 85%. As Deku just keeps pushing Garo, or Deku just keeps pushing All Might to his limit. Deku keeps doing this until he feels a heavy burden on himself, meaning he's exhausted, and so is All Might. All Might was using a good 90% right now, which is absolutely insane. That makes Deku be able to pretty much beats. That makes Deku pretty much almost able to beat. I'd say that makes Deku able to beat Endeavor, meaning he could be the number 2 hero. All Might was amazed at the display of strength and technique that Garo was using, that he wanted to know what his quirk was. As they were both like falling from side to side, All Might asked what quirk he was using, and Deku just says he's quirkless. All Might's obviously like pissed off, like, stop lying to me, only for him to say, I'm not. This is my own martial arts style. As Deku charges at him once again, full of energy, and just punches All Might. And All Might's like, damn it, if I only would have won 100%, I would have won. So Deku uses last remaining strength to knock out All Might, which he ends up keeping his muscle form, but Deku ends up just falling backwards onto the pavement, knocked out as well. Like, they made such, like a ruckus basically, or a noise, that the news helicopters were watching it, and everyone was surprised, like, Garo the Hero Hunter has just bested All Might. And, like, everyone's like, but how? I thought All Might was the strongest person. That's when, I'd say, Eraserhead comes down and just wraps up Garo and All Might in his capture gear and just takes them away, putting All Might in the hospital. Same with Garo there, but, like, tied him up. So when Garo wakes up, he's like, well, I guess I'm tied up. As he used Fist of Flowing Rock to break his quirk restraints. Or he just used, like, absolute brute strength in the Fist of Flowing Rock to break them, which made Aizawa just spit out his coffee, and he's like, how the hell did you do that? And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, how'd you use your quirk? Suki, being pissed off at this, just, like, flicks him on the head, sending him into a wall, and says, what makes you assume that I have a quirk? Deku just lays down, back on his bed. And he's like, wait, why aren't you trying to escape? And he's like, I don't bother. I'll end up escaping later. That's when Nezu, like, walks into the room. And he's like, I don't think so. You're going to be into the UA. You're going to UA into a what's it called? Like, you're going to UA to join a villain rehabilitation. Like, he's like, I don't want to be with such snobby heroes. I don't need them. They're only filled with greed. Deku just stands up and he's like, now I'm going to leave. But Nezu ends up putting a paw in front of him and just says, give it a chance. Which was a massive chance on Nezu's part, because Garo or Izuku could legit just roundhouse kick him into a wall next to Aizawa. Aizawa kind of just laughs a little bit, like, how's that gonna work? Which it ending up does, and Deku's just like, okay, sure. So, in the next day at UA, everybody's walking in, and then Aizawa walks in and just says, you can come in now, only to see that the door was on the other side of the room, and he's like, yeah, I already know. As he just yawns and goes and sits down in a random seat. And everyone's just, like, scared out of their mind, like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Garo the Hero Hunter. Who the hell are you? Which pretty much just made all of them scared out of their minds. they've heard tales of Garo, the hero hunter, and how he absolutely destroyed other heroes and how he tied with All Might. So some of them shakily replied with, "What's your quirk?" And he's like, "I'm quirkless." Now shut up. So that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy What If Deku Was Garo Part 1. See you guys. Bye.